This video is a TradingView tutorial. Let's come over to tradingview.com and get started. Timestamps for all of the different sections in this video listed down in the description. The first choice that we're going to make on TradingView is whether we want to actually use it for free, which we can do, or pay for a subscription. So the pro subscription actually gives you more indicators per chart if you want to use, up to 5. There's also volume profile indicators, which some people do prefer to use. You can also see more than one chart in a layout. So you can actually put two charts together and then see them side by side. If you want that, you do have to pay for the pro version. Most people, I think, can use TradingView completely for free and don't need to pay. So I'll leave a link to TradingView in the description. If you want $30 off a subscription, you can get it via that link. But if you want to use it for free, I think most people can do. Anyway, what we can do is firstly set up our watch list, which is up in the top right hand corner. If you can't see this, it's just the very top right option right here, this icon. Press this and then you can get a watch list up. Now you can very easily add or remove any of the assets right here on the right hand side. You can just delete that off. But what we can do is come to plus right here and then search for assets that we can actually trade. So you can search by the name of the stock or the asset. As you can see here, Tesla Incorporated. On the right hand side is all of the different listings where Tesla is listed around the world. I usually just choose the main listing. So you want to get this NASDAQ listing right here and you can see the full price data. You can also search by ticker. So if I search BTC, then it's going to give me all of the different BTC assets that I can look at. What we can also do is just choose by the asset class. So I'll click into crypto here and I get much more useful data. Now something to note when you choose these assets is where it's listed. So there's a Binance listing here, there's Bitstamp, Coinbase. Some listings, because they are newer, don't have complete price history. So you can actually check these different listings right here and see which one has the complete price history of the asset that you want. And then very easy, just add it to your watch list right here. Now, what you can do also is actually flag your different assets right here and choose different flags. So I'm going to click on this and you can see I've got the red flag right here. If I go to watch list, it will be in the red flag list. You can choose different colors as well for your flags. So you can potentially flag assets that you're watching right now or that you have open trades in and so on and give them different flags. But you can set these up exactly how you want with your watch list. There's a few different ways to choose assets on TradingView. The first is via the top left right here. That brings up the symbol search box. You can choose by the different assets as we've seen. You can choose them on the watch list, but also you can just start typing on your keyboard. So if I just press BTC, as you can see, the symbol search box comes up, and so I don't have to go through that process. TradingView also has a calendar on the right hand side. If you click this, you can see important economic figures that are coming out from different countries around the world. Click this off and you get all of these. Click this back on and you only get high importance. On the right hand side, you can select the countries from which you get the data from. If we go down a little bit as well, you should be able to see earnings figures, estimates and earnings from companies around the world. Again, you can choose which countries you actually get this economic data from, which stocks in which countries are actually giving you their earnings reports, for example. If you want to change the look and layout of TradingView, that is up in the top left. Just click on your name right here on your icon. You can switch in and out of dark mode. Important as well as keyboard shortcuts. You may just want to learn some of these to make your life a bit easier. You can see them all here. It definitely cuts down time when using keyboard shortcuts instead of having to manually configure things. Also, if you want to get rid of this drawing point panel on the left hand side, just click that on and off. We can also change the look and feel of the chart that we're looking at very simply. Come up to the top button right here and I'm on candlesticks. I can choose a line chart to change the actual chart itself. Back to candles, and then up on the top right you can come to settings and choose all of the chart settings. This can change the color layout of the actual candlesticks and chart if you want, so change from blue to orange or something like that. Status line right here is this, so this just gives you some other trading and price information. You can toggle this off and then that will disappear. I'll put that back on. Scales are on the right hand side. This is the price chart and the scale right here. So what I can do is actually turn on the bid and ask or the high and low price, and you can see some extra options come up which give me the high and low over a certain period which I'm looking at. I'll just turn that off though. Appearance, you can change the background. So if you want a white background or a gradient or pitch black, you can change that right here. You can put a watermark on which puts the asset ticker and name and the market that it's trading on the back if you want. And then trading right here, if you actually want to link up TradingView with your exchange, which I'll show you how to do later, you can toggle on some options for buying and selling. Buy and sell buttons are up on the top left. If you do have a broker linked, you can very easily toggle these or hit these, and then your buy order will come up. I can toggle that off and then they disappear up on the top left. And events, you can toggle this off and off on and off as well. You can see down here, I do have some events that are on the chart that are on because I've toggled these on. So if I press OK and just click on these, I can see some headlines for the asset that I'm looking at. The chart scale is something to get set up properly as well, especially when you're comparing different charts, which I'll get to later. If you come to the scale itself, so this is the price scale right now, just right click on this to bring up the options, and there's some things that we can do. Firstly, reset price scale. So if I press this, it changes. Sometimes if you can drag the price scale and you drag it out, things get a little bit strange. So you can just reset that price scale and it comes back to what would normally be the case. Auto fits data to screen. This means that when you drag, it will auto fit and change the scale. So if I just drag down to a different portion of the price chart right here, as you can see, it then fits this price chart to the scale right here. If I actually turn this off, then I can basically drag this around where I want and it's not going to auto fit, as you can see. So this gets a little bit crazy. So you may want to put the auto fit on and then things get a little bit back to normal, but that's up to you. Also, lock price to bar chart. So this is the normal ratio right here. If I lock this, what I can do, if I scroll or zoom in, I basically zoom in on the chart, but the price scale doesn't change. If I turn this off, then the scale will change right here and I'll drag that out. So that's that option. Then you can invert scale. This is really important when you're comparing assets. So if you're comparing one asset to another, which actually have a negative correlation, i.e. when one goes down, the other goes up, it's extremely difficult to compare them, but you can actually invert the scale. So if I invert the Bitcoin price, it becomes essentially upside down. Very good to compare assets like this, and I'll show you that later when you can invert the chart. The regular is just the price chart. A percentage move changes the percent from the very left-hand side of the chart. So as you can see here on the very left-hand side, this is the price right there. It takes that as 0%, and then anything above would be obviously 100 or whatever percent more, and anything below would be minus, as you can see. Pretty good to compare as well. Also, logarithmic is important. If you're looking at charts like Bitcoin, which have extremely high price differential from when it was previously to now, you can switch that to log, and you can switch that to log down here as well. So if I switch off log, that just gives you the normal price chart. Logarithmic obviously makes the price moves up here when prices are much higher, much smaller and more condensed on the chart. And so just gives you a logarithmic chart instead of just the normal price. It's much better to look at logarithmic occasionally, especially if you're comparing long data sets. And then move scales to the left. As you can see, you can just move these to the left if you prefer them that way. If you want to take a screenshot of your chart or the drawings that you've made to publish it somewhere else, up on the top right hand corner is the camera icon. Publish means that you can actually share that within TradingView. If you have an account, you can share that within TradingView to maybe get people to watch it. If you want to keep it private, take a snapshot, you can save the chart image, you can copy it and then paste it somewhere else, or you can actually tweet it directly to Twitter yourself. We can change the timescale of the chart in two different ways. The first one is to change the actual timescale of the chart itself. So I'm on the 4-hour chart right now. So that's each candlestick being 4 hours in length. I can change that to the day chart and it changes, or I can change it to the week chart like this. And if the chart gets a bit out of the way, it looks a bit strange, you can just always right click and reset the chart view and it takes you back to what would normally be recommended. Down here you can also scroll to compress time as well, just makes it easier so you can see more of the chart yourself. If you want to compare the price action of two different assets without putting them on the same chart, so that is having two different charts side by side, come up to this option here and then choose the different layouts. This is part of the pro version and upwards, so you're going to need that if you want to do it. Just choose one of these. Now down here you can see sync in layout. Choose on or off all of these different options to sync. So if you want to sync the crosshair across two different options, you'll sync the crosshair from one chart to the next. You can also sync the time or the intervals. So if you change one to the day instead of the 4 hour, the other one will change exactly the same. So you can toggle these on and off to sync both of the different charts that you're looking at within the layout. A great piece of information is the data window on the right hand side. If you click this, you can see each candlestick's data. So if you just hover your mouse cursor over each of these different candlesticks, you will actually see the information of that candlestick on the right hand side, including the price action, the open, high, low, close, the volume traded. Now let's get to drawing tools and analyzing the chart itself. You'll want the drawing tools option up on the left hand side. So if that's not there, just click drawing panel and that will pop this drawing tools box up, as you can see here. If you want to know more about actually drawing trend lines and analyzing trends, the Crypto Investor course has about 300 videos now on trading, analysis, how to actually go ahead and place trades, using chart types and different strategies to actually go ahead and trade. I'll leave a link to the Crypto Investor course down in the description. We also have private Discord groups with traders in there discussing strategies and what they're trading, including myself as well. So link in the description if you want to find out more about that. The first thing we want to do is come to the drawing tool brush right here. So we have a few different options. Firstly, if you just click on the small arrow out here, you get this drop down box. So we can use the brush, which I use a lot. The brush just very simply lets you free draw on the chart. So you can just very simply free draw different areas of the chart which you may be looking at. A lot of people will use this generally with their cursor just to kind of show things to themselves. The other option here that I use quite regularly is the rectangle. So this will give you a kind of area of support and resistance when you're trading. So let's go back to the price chart right here. You can see that this is obviously an area of support and resistance on the chart that I'm drawing. So you can, do that as you wish. Just go back to the log. Then on the drawing tools as well, something interesting to show you is the curve button. So I use this to chart this beautiful logarithmic regression on Bitcoin right here. So you can just choose two options where you want it to start and finish, and then it will give you right here the middle point, and you can just drag this to where you want to create those really lovely arcs and those kind of logarithmic regressions, certainly for BTC anyway. Something else that we can use is text. So this T button here, if you click this out, text is just normal text. So click anywhere on the chart to make a note, moon like this, click OK. And that's just there. This option box, you can change the settings, the text layout, the size. I'm just going to delete that as well. Something more useful for me is actually the signpost. So you can click on this, choose an area where you want to signpost. So for example, I often use events that are happening in the future, and I'm just going to click right here and then choose jobs figures or something like that are coming out, just to remind myself. Now when you drag, as you can see, it doesn't change. So you can choose the dates, the exact date, and it's going to stay no matter what you do to the chart. TradingView also helps you draw patterns on the chart if you are doing some technical analysis, so you don't have to do it yourself. We can come to the drawings option right here and then choose one of the different tools. So let's do a head and shoulders. So this will actually draw a head and shoulders for you. So we can start off clicking and we can draw the first shoulder and then go and draw the head and then the second shoulder like this, and it will give you these angles as well. Now if you want to change this, you can do that up here, but if it's highlighted, you can just press delete on your keyboard to delete it. You can press undo on your keyboard to bring it back as well. Now if you get into a scenario where you're halfway done on something and you don't want to do it anymore and you can't click off, just come up to the left and click this, and then that will disappear. You can also press delete as well. The ruler or measure tool is something I use very often to measure price differences over time. So if you click on the measure tool here and then click on an area on the chart that you want it to start and finish, as you can see, it's going to give you that price information between where you started and finished. So the price during that time, the amount of bars. So the amount of bars is the amount of time. So in this example, the day chart means that that's 436 days, gives you the volume there as well. What you can actually do is just press shift on your keyboard and then click once and you start the ruler chart or the ruler measure tool, and then you can drag it either way. And then what you want to do is click again to actually put that in, and then you can do it that way. Another useful tool is what I call the projection tool, which is this one. You can project a potential trade and where it might go, including a bull and bear case, for example. You can also measure specifically date ranges and price ranges. So you can just measure from one bar to another how long that was, and also the price tool vertically, just to show how much a price has moved during a specific time. That's good for showing different moves at different periods. There's also a long and short position calculator, so I'll show you that. if we have a long position here, you can project what a potential trade might do. So let's say I want to go long at this point. I will click this and it will give me a long and short position calculator. So let's say I want my stop loss around this level, and then I want my take profit around this level here. It's going to show me what this potential trade scenario would be. So you can see my profit and loss in dollar terms, and also the risk reward ratio, right? So how much that potential reward is compared to how much loss that you think you may have. That will change depending on where you actually put this indicator. But if you actually want to take positions long or short, you can actually work out how much you would make and how much your risk reward ratio is just from using this tool. Now we'll get to drawing trend lines on the chart, and there's many different options here, so I'll go through them for you right now. Now the first thing we can do is just draw a simple trend line. So come to the trend line drawing tool right here and extend this out, draw the trend line. You can draw that any way that you want. You can move it around on the chart very easily, and you can extend it or make it smaller by dragging one of the ends. The options are up here if you want to change the thickness and the color. Just delete that right here. Something that you might want to do with a trend line is get it to stick directly on one of the price points that we see on the chart. So what we can do is actually come to the magnet tool here. We can just toggle this on and then go for either strong or weak magnet. Weak magnet means that if you're far enough away from the price, you're still going to be able to draw anything that you want and it's not going to stick anywhere. If you switch this to a strong magnet, then your cursor is going to stick onto the price chart of the bar chart, as you can see here. So even if my cursor is miles away from this, it's going to actually stick that point right on the actual price level of that bar chart. And then if I go long enough away, I can do this and it sticks it right on that price level here. This is good for drawing extremely accurate trend lines on different price levels on the chart that actually occurred, rather than free drawing. You can toggle this off as well. Now if you're on a Mac, you want to use the command, and you can just toggle this off with command. You can see that option toggling on and off here. If you're on PC, it potentially is the shift button. What we can also do is go for raise. So if you want to place a ray from somewhere on the chart, it's essentially going to extend away to infinity, and you can choose the angle, whatever you want right there. Something else that we can do, that I often do as well, is horizontal lines. These are perfect for drawing horizontal support and resistance levels. So if you click on the horizontal line, you won't make any mistakes. It's going to be perfectly horizontal. So let's say I can see a support and resistance level right here. Click that on, you get a perfectly horizontal line, across the whole chart that you want. Now, if you don't want it going to the horizontal line, you'll want a horizontal ray, and that will start off from a specific area. So let's say this was the support and resistance level and it hadn't occurred at any other time in the past on the chart. You don't want to draw that to the left-hand side. You want to draw it to the future. So you can just click it right here where that support and resistance, this left-hand side doesn't show. On the right-hand side, you get that horizontal support and resistance. This tool also lets you choose parallel channels and regression channels. So if we click on this and bring the options out, you can see parallel channel here. You're going to want to choose either the high or low of the channel first. So let's say this was a channel that I was tracking and I would want to search the low of this, and then I want to obviously get the trend of the channel, for example, here. Now you can either move up or down from here. So it doesn't matter if you use the top or bottom, but you can just see the channel there, and then you can actually just extend this out as you would any other trend line. If you do want to know more about trading, identifying trends, and trading strategies, I've got all these videos in the Crypto Investor course, as you can see here, laid out step by step, including some strategies that I used to use when I was broking. There's also videos on trading futures and options in crypto as well, which many people do. There's over 300 videos now, plus a community and private Discord groups where you can discuss trading. I'm in those groups as well if you want to ask me questions. So check that out via the link below if you're interested. We can set up trading and price alerts on TradingView. Come to the alarm clock icon here and then create alert. So it's going to automatically choose the asset that you're looking at right now. I'm going to choose a price that we get alerted at, 21,500, only once. I can name the alert if I want. You can also get a notification on your email if you want to do that. I'm going to press create right here. It's telling me that I'm on a log scale, so the calculation might be based on linear, not log. That's fine with me, continue anyway. And as you can see, that alert is now here. So I've got that alert that I can see, and the alerts log will come out when that alert has taken place. I can obviously cancel off or edit this easily. I can actually click on the alert itself as well, and you can see the actual alert that's happening. So as soon as BTC crosses, I will get that alert, and I can just cross that off to actually delete that alert. How to use indicators on TradingView. There are many of these indicators up in the top bar right here. My scripts, if you do want to actually script some alerts yourself, you can use that here, creating your first script. We also have the technical indicators. This is where you can use many indicators, for example, moving averages. So you can click these on and they come up. I'm going to click this twice and you get 2 moving averages here. You can also search for others, for example, Bollinger Bands or something like that. You can see that right here. So community scripts are actually scripts that the community themselves have made where they combine one or more different indicators, and you can get that on the chart, which I'll show you here. So as you can see, I've clicked that and now I get this option down at the left that's giving me different overviews of this this indicator, and I can see that on the chart, these Bollinger Bands here that I put on. So what I'm going to do is actually click this off so I can change the settings and layout very easily by clicking this button. If you don't want to remove the indicator but you just don't want to see it right now, click the hide button, and as you can see that will be turned off. I'm going to remove this, and as you can see I'm going to tick these and just change the settings. So input settings, if you're using a moving average, come to inputs right here and then change the moving average to a 100 period moving average. Change the style whichever way that you want, maybe yellow. Click OK here, and then you've changed the moving average easily. One of the best features of TradingView is that you can compare multiple assets together. So I've got Bitcoin as the main chart here. I'm going to press the plus icon here and I'm going to search for ETH USDT. So now I have the ETH price and Bitcoin price compared, and you can compare multiple assets here. So I'm going to click again, and then I'm going to compare Tesla to both of these as well. So you can see these on the chart. It looks a little bit crazy because Bitcoin is still in a candlestick for really trading instead of comparing. So I can click on the main chart, which is Bitcoin, change this to a line chart here, and now you can see the relative performance of all of these. Now what you'll see is that on the right hand side, the price scale has moved from a price scale to a percentage change scale. The nominal price of all of these assets is so different that if you change this down to a nominal price scale, it's just going to look crazy and you can't compare them because they're just different prices. And so what we can do is just choose the percentage change of them from this left hand side. So that's 0% change where the price was. So now we can look at the relative performance of these assets together, and you can do this with multiple assets all at once. Now we can use the TradingView screener to search for different assets dependent on their size or performance. If you come down to the very bottom corner of the screen, you'll see the screener here. It will probably be called screener and not crypto pairs screener. You can change the assets that you're searching for via this drop down. Crypto pairs, Forex, and stocks you can search for here. Stocks will be a lot of fundamental data like earnings, price to earnings ratio, multiples, etc. Crypto is a little bit different. It's really about performance and size. So I'm going to go crypto pairs screener, and then I'm going to go for an overview here. I'm actually going to switch it over to performance because I want to see what has performed best. You can see the change in day, week, month, etc. I'm going to go for filters right here, and then I'm going to search for assets that are above a $2 billion valuation. Now it auto searches for you, so you don't have to press OK or set or anything like that. So I'm just going to click off this, and now I have essentially the best performing asset above a certain market cap that I can search for here. You can also look at oscillators and trends, and you can filter everything down. If you click on this, you can actually take out the 3-month performance or the 1-month performance. You can edit everything here just as you want to see it. This is how you link your crypto exchange to TradingView to trade directly on there through your crypto exchange. If you don't trade crypto, you can link Forex and stockbrokers up here as well, as you can see. I'm going to show you Binance as an example. I'll leave a link to Binance in the description. They give a up to $600 deposit bonus and trading bonus if you're new, so check that out by that link. But we can just simply press connect. You need a Binance account first, go through that process, then press connect, have that Binance account open in your browser, press connect, and it's going to link straight through. As you can see here, all you need to do is grant account access to TradingView, and it's going to trade through the API right there. So you can see everything on TradingView. Now, if we go back, you should be linked right here. And what we can do now is actually search for pairs on Binance. So if you are trading on Binance or another exchange, we can come up to the pairs that we want to trade. So now what we can do is go to crypto right here, and then we want to go all sources. And if you are trading through Binance, then you're going to want to use Binance assets to trade with. So press Binance here, and then I'm going to actually go BTC. and I want the futures, right? So I want Bitcoin, Tether, perpetual futures that I'm trading. Or if you want to trade in the spot market, Bitcoin versus Tether, that's not the futures market. Press this. Now I'm trading directly on Binance when I actually go ahead and trade. TradingView lets you set up a paper trading account so you can practice your trading. Come over to paper trading, press connect, and then connect again, and it will start you up with a paper trading account. As you can see here, you can reset this as many times as you want. On the right hand corner, we have this right here, which is the trade box. So we want to toggle this on, and we have the trade options right here. So what I'm going to do is press a market order here, and the units, you can choose anything that you want. With crypto, the unit is the 1 unit of the cryptocurrency. So for Bitcoin, 1 unit is worth around $20,000 at the moment. And so that's what you'll be trading if you press 1 unit. You can work that out yourself as to how much you want to trade. You can put a take profit and stop loss in if it is supported right here. So let's say my take profit is 10% above my entry and my stop loss is 5% below my entry. As you can see here, you can choose prices or nominal amounts as well, where you can put that in and it will all change automatically. Let's go market buy right here, and that entry is right in. So these are my order entry alerts, so you can just see what happened here and toggle those off. Now on the right hand side, we have some editing that we can do. The first thing is we have our entry right here. So this was actually our entry. We had a long position that we went in on, and you can see the profit and loss in the middle. So that shows you, what state your trade is actually in. Now this is my stop loss down here, and this is my take profit order. Now these are working. So if I come down to the orders, you should be able to see I've got 1 order filled, which was my market buy, and then I have my stop orders, both selling at a take profit and stop loss down here. Now I can edit these very easily on the right hand side. I just edit and modify any of these parameters. I can also click directly on this one to modify order, and it's going to come up the same thing. So let's say I want to modify my stop loss to be 10% away instead of 5, modify that. You can see I've got the alert right here, and the stop loss has been modified to further away. Now you can see your history in terms of trade history and what you've done, everything that you've traded, account history if you've got any positions that have actually been closed off. And on the position side, you can see the actual position that I have right here that's actually trading. Now what I can do is I can't modify an open position, but I can close it. And as you can see, I can close that. I can partial close if I want. So I can actually partially close, let's say 0.5, so I can close half of the position, partially close, and that's going to sell at market for me. As you can see, I've got those options right there. And then if I want to edit as well, close off, I can just close the entire position and everything's gone. The take profit and stop loss at this point obviously would go away as well. If you are looking for the pro version of TradingView, get a $30 bonus on your subscription via the link in the description, and the Crypto Investor course is linked down there as well. If you want to get way more pro with trading and trading strategies, check that out. I'm James with MoneyZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.